What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee&Toys here. Welcome to another G.I. Joe figure unboxing and review. Now, you might be asking yourself something. Mark, it's Friday, and you have went on and on about this schedule, and you say Fridays are for G.I. Joe Modern Era comics. And you would be right. I am breaking protocol today because there are no G.I. Joe comics that came out this week. No Cobra Commander, no Duke, no Real American Hero. So I figured rather than just not give you a video, try to keep the cadence up and go ahead and give you an action figure review. And as a matter of fact, this review is going to be special today because this is not any brand. I guess the brand I've had because it's G.I. Joe, but it's never been a figure that I've collected. I've had one figure from this brand ever. And here we are 40-some years later, and I've finally got my next one. So what do I mean? Of course, I am talking about the collaboration between Hasbro's G.I. Joe brand and Mego. They did the following crossover set of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and we're going to talk about it today. Right, so if you are unfamiliar with Mego or Mego, however you want to pronounce it, they were a toy company in the 70s, early 80s that produced all sorts of heroes. They had licenses with DC and Marvel, and there are a lot of folks around my age that did have those figures. I myself actually fondly remember having one Mego figure, and again, it might be Mego, whatever. I had their Spider-Man from their action superhero lineup, and I love that figure. I actually picked it up at an antique show, and I had it for years. Don't know what happened to it, but they all had that. They were all about 7 inches tall, 8 inches tall in size, and they just had cloth uniforms and, a plastic head, and they had, fairly comparative to classified figures today as far as articulation. You can move them with the shoulders, the elbows, the hands, the head, the waist, legs, knees, feet, stuff like that. So fast forward, I believe the original Mego was bought out or something, and now they actually, I'm going to see if I can try to figure out what it actually says on the box. MC and Marty Abrams present Mego Corporation. So nowadays, Mego, they still have that license. They don't really do a lot of superheroes anymore, but they do just about everything else. I've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've seen countless horror movies, figures like Dracula, Frankenstein. I have seen some. I guess I have seen some DC ones. I know I've seen a Flashpoint Batman before, but I don't really collect the line. But I decided to pick up this set today, or not today, but I decided to pick up this set because it went into Hasbro Pulse's outlet. So this set was originally $40, and it is now down to something like 14 or 15 bucks. So I did pick up two sets, one to open here on the channel and one just to kind of keep in the wayside, because for 15 bucks, I couldn't pass this up. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Mark. I'm with Coffee&Toys. I review action figures. We talk about comics, all that kind of fun stuff. And I am primarily an out-of-box collector, as you can see behind me. So what we'll do on the channel is we will review the figures in the box. We'll talk about it. And then we'll get to the real fun stuff where we actually open these figures up, accessorize them, talk about them. And then I let you know whether I thought it was a good pickup or not. So with that being said, let's jump over and check out the collaborative G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Storm Shadow Mego set. Okay, and here we have it. The Mego G.I. Joe crossover set. Hasbro's been doing a lot of crossover sets lately, and I'm going to guess this is probably the only Mego crossover set we'll get for G.I. Joe. Like I said, this did go onto the Hasbro Pulse outlet store, so it is not selling well. And it's been out for a few, I believe at least 2 years now. We'll check it out when we look at the package. But man, this presentation art is absolutely beautiful. I'm glad I picked up two of these. But yeah, so we have Storm Shadow version 1 and Snake Eyes version 2 battling each other with that classic sunburst in the background. We see the Mego X G.I. Joe on the bottom, and it's very beautiful. I mean, this is a really cool picture. I am enjoying it a lot. Now on the top, we do see the Mego X G.I. Joe, and as we spin it around, we can see on the side, we do get the G.I. Joe logo. And on the back, we actually do see what these figures are going to look like once we get them out of the package. And you can see they've set up a little bit of diorama so you can see kind of what they're going to display as. And very cool. I like what I'm seeing. And again, very reminiscent of what the Mego figures have always been. Just a plastic body, simple body, and then the details are really in the kind of tailored outfits that each character has, and then the plastic head sculpt. And then finally on the other side, we get that same G.I. Joe logo. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up for the box. Let me get this untaped and we'll see what this is, what this looks like. Okay, I just cut the tape and started lifting it off, but I did want you guys to see how this looks like underneath this slip cover, because that's what this is. So there's the Mego logo. So you can see this is just a slip cover, comes right off after you remove the tape. And there you have it. You have the two figures, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes. You have what looks like it's going to be a weapons crate, probably has all their weapons inside of it, minus their backpacks, which are very cool. And yeah, they're just simply roped in there. So what I'm going to do, and also I guess I should point out they have Storm Shadow on this side, Snake Eyes on this side. Again, very cool looking. Now that we've seen kind of the inner package, I'm going to go ahead and get these figures out, and then we're going to go through each one of them. Okay, we have Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes out of their packaging. And yeah, these are pretty much the definition of what a Mego style figure is. I have no real complaints yet. I guess we should start with seeing how tall they actually are. So let's do that. We'll just do Snake Eyes. He is right at just a hair over 7.5 inches tall. So yeah, about that approximate 7 to 8 inch scale. And as you can see, the main thing about Mego figures is that they are just a simple plastic body. You can see it with Storm Shadow with a plastic molded head, and then they have cloth goods on for their actual outfit. So let's take Mr. Snake Eyes, move him out of the way. We'll start with Storm Shadow. And first thing I notice is that the wraps are also, these are real wraps. And the outfit is very thin. As you can see, you can actually see the plastic legs through the pants. It's a very light material. These are plastic boots that are meant to look like, they're wraps. And this is plastic as well. Plastic belt. Got the Cobra decal right here, just a sticker that's been stuck on there. And of course, the plastic head. Now, as far as articulation, the head does go left and right only. It does have articulation at the shoulder and can bend outwards. The elbow joint, single jointed. The wrist can also move, so you can move that around. And then the waist does have articulation there. You do have movement at the legs, hindered a bit by the actual pants, just I suppose like in real life. And does have a knee joint you can see. And the feet do also bend as well, but I'm not going to take off the boot to show that in this particular case. So yeah, I'll go ahead and give you a zoom in on the face here so you can see that. There we go. And as you can see, it's been molded, doesn't look too bad. You can see better visual of the Cobra logo. You can see how this is all stitched up together. You can see the wraps. Spin him around so you can see the back. You can see there's a place to hold his backpack. And yeah, actually it looks like I was about to say, it looks like the pants connect in the back. So very interesting. I figured that would have been on the front. Yeah, just all the way down the figure overall, looking pretty good. So yeah, that is Storm Shadow. We'll take him, and actually we'll just set him off to the side for a minute, and we'll bring Snake Eyes into focus. Now, what was interesting when I got Snake Eyes out of the package, Snake Eyes' left leg was quite a bit longer than his right, and his foot was not pushed down into the boot all the way, so I couldn't get him standing up. I was like, well, wow, did I get something broken? But no, I just had to push this boot so the heel of his foot was actually at the bottom. And as you can see right now immediately, the web gear is sliding off his legs, but you can press it back up. And yeah, so let's just look over Snake Eyes real quick. As you can see, it is again another almost like a unitard outfit that's got these plastic, or pleather actually, I guess is what I'd call it. Go ahead and zoom in so you can see it. Well, maybe I will. My zoom wasn't working. As you can see with a little more of a close-up, these are just like pleather pieces that have been attached to it to look like armor. I do like the head sculpt on this. I do feel like that's a very accurate representation. As you can see, as I let the light kind of hit it, you can see there's a little bit of an indentation there to represent his mouth underneath the mask. And of course, he's got all sorts of web gear. He's got these pockets on his arms. He has the Arashikage logo up here, which is actually, can't tell exactly if it's a sticker. I can't tell if it's a sticker or like an actual patch. I believe it's an actual patch. There you can see the grenades on his web gear there. Let me zoom back in here so you can see the web gear belt he wears. Moving down the figure, he's got that for his, what looks like would be his knife. Got one for a pistol. And of course we have those boots that he's wearing on the bottom. Good look at his head. We'll spin him around here. And you can see that the same thing as Storm Shadow. He's got a connection on the back for his backpack. Got the arrow here. That's really cool. That's a nice little addition that you can see that was on the original vintage figure. And yeah. So another interesting thing I didn't point out also is that this fabric piece is actually separate. There's actually two pieces. One's a unitard body, and then this is like a vest that's going over top of it. So very, very cool. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and stand him back up, hopefully. And again, he has the same articulation as Storm Shadow. So let's bring Storm Shadow back into the mix. Make sure I can get him to stand up. Perfect. Now they do come with accessories as well. And I see one. Oh, I dropped one. So we'll start with Storm Shadow again, because here's Storm Shadow's backpack. Looks very nice. Of course, this looks just like what comes with most modern era figures of Storm Shadow. You can see where two swords can go in. It's got the hook on the back. These do not come out. These are just rubber quills that don't actually do anything, unfortunately. And then you can see we've got the opening right there. So we'll set that off to the side real quick. And I will pick up the Snake Eyes backpack that I dropped whenever I was getting it out for the review. And here's the Snake Eyes backpack. Again, cast in all black. You can see where the swords go. Just identical to the one that would have came with the 85 action figure, and you can see how it just slides on to what we looked at earlier on his backpack. Just kind of a, not totally hard plastic, but kind of firm. So we have those two backpacks, and then we have what we saw earlier. We have this little weapons cache that I'm assuming just has everything in it. It has nothing written on it. It says G.I. Joe top secret, name, rank, serial number. And we'll just open it up right now and see what's inside together. Okay, well, we have Storm Shadow's bow. So, very cool, cast in all black. Can't give it that little number, so we'll set that off to the side. And see if we can get the rest of the stuff out. Okay, we have a small knife, which I assume is Snake Eyes' knife. And I will zoom in so you can see that. There we go, an all black knife. Just keep on keeping on, maybe. Yeah, something came out. Oh, everything came out. Okay. So, all right, everything's out now. So, continuing with Snake Eyes, we do have Snake Eyes' classic sword. It doesn't have, it's not quite the same. It's got this, it's very similar to the original figure, but not exactly from the looks of it. But fairly close. So, it's cast in all black as well. We get a pistol, kind of a cheap looking. It's weird. That's a weird thing because I don't see any finger grip protection. It's just open to pull the trigger. I don't know. This looks kind of weird to me. But there we go. We got Snake Eyes' pistol, and then we finally have Snake Eyes' famous Uzi. Again, these are kind of missing a little extra details that you might actually find on a, well, definitely less details than on a classified figure, but even less details than you'd find on a 4-inch figure or even the original 85 toy. But there you go. So that takes care of Snake Eyes. Storm Shadow's accessories came wrapped up in here, in this tissue paper. So let's go ahead and, oh, no wonder. These things are just falling out everywhere. Okay, so we'll start with his two swords. Now, these are a little nicer. They are cast in silver and black, and they are two different lengths. So there you go. Just like the original figure. Except the original figure was cast on all black, and these actually has some detail to the blades. So very interesting. So there's those two. We have two very small throwing stars. Very small. Let's see if I can get them both in here. Ugh. So two very small silver throwing stars. And we have a small knife. Very small blade compared to the Snake Eyes blade. Very small blade, but again, two-tone color. That's nice. And then finally, we have a very cool pair of nunchucks. So that is actually kind of neat, with real metal connecting the two, and again, cast in two separate colors. So that's actually really neat. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna get them accessorized, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on these figures I picked up. Okay, I have gotten the figures fully accessorized, and I'm happy with these. I think I like that they can all, like normal classified figures, they can hold all their weapons. And I will say that these swords on both Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes backpack are very, very loose. I mean, it's not fitted. The openings are much wider than is necessary, and they can be pulled out very easily. As you can see, I'm just sliding that right out, not having any issues whatsoever. But that's good. I mean, they just stay in there for display. You can see the crossbow, or I'm sorry, the bow, how it fits in Storm Shadow's backpack. The knife and the shurikens both fit in his belt, just like on what's represented on the classic action figure. The nunchucks are the only place I couldn't figure out where to put something, but I suppose you could just drop them in the backpack as well. There's plenty of space in that backpack along with the bow. And yeah, the other thing I think to note is on Snake Eyes, the weapons are very, very gummy, which is good because it allows them to fit in his hand. And it's not the same type of, it doesn't feel like it's the same type of gummy that the classified figures are. They feel more like actual rubber. So I don't know if they're actually made different or what, but you can see, it's in his hand. It looks decent enough. And you can see down here on the side, he's got his pistol in that holster. We got the knife in that holster, and then the blade in the back. And, the other nice thing I like about these is that they stand up without relative issue. They're heavy enough, they're tall enough, they've got a good center of gravity. Yeah. So overall, I am glad I picked these up. I think they'll be fun to have setting on my shelves. It's just another representation of scale and scale size for Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. Probably two of the most iconic, if not the two most iconic figures within the G.I. Joe mythos. But I am definitely glad I did not pay full price for these. I think $40 was probably the original retail of these was probably way too much for what I wanted to spend. But for $15, heck yeah, I'll do this all day. So that's $7.50 a figure before shipping, and I definitely think these are worth $7.50 each. They're actually worth more than that. But it just depends. If you're a Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes fan, definitely pick these up. They are still available on Hasbro Pulse, their outlet. Just do a search for Mego and they'll pop right up. I don't know how many they have left. Like I said, I bought two of them, one to keep in the package and one to have for display purposes. I think they're really cool. I think they're fun, but I want to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know if this is something you guys knew about. Did you not know about it? After seeing this review, is it something you think you should pick up, given that it's on such a deep discount right now? I mean, over 50%. That's quite a discount. But yeah, with all that being said, thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like and drop a comment and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, set it to all notifications, because like I said, generally on Fridays, I do comic book reviews of modern G.I. Joe comics. And on Saturdays, I do my normal figure review, so look forward to a figure review tomorrow being posted. Sundays, we're going to do a retro G.I. Joe vintage figure unboxing and review. That'll be really fun. And then on Monday, we will kick off an issue 3 of G.I. Joe: Real American Heroes, that comic and review. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.